gloves on. Ugh. Now, what's tricky about this one, the ceiling gets lower and lower and lower, kind of gradual. So you kind of have to decide in advance, okay, how tight am I going to tolerate? Because you don't want to go too far and actually get yourself stuck. With a smooth floor and a smooth ceiling, that would be bad enough. But if you get yourself stuck where there's a sharp floor and a sharp ceiling, they're going to risk poking yourself or scratching yourself or otherwise, or damaging the cave, stuff like that. So you definitely need to be careful. Okay. So there's the way I came in. I'm just sitting down a second because I'm not that tired, of course. I just wanted to look around. It's safest to look around if I'm sitting or standing, because then I can look every direction. If I'm crawling, I can't really look behind me very well. The ceiling's maybe 4 feet tall here, so I'm kind of crouching down on one knee. But yeah, look how pretty this is. Lots of that gold stuff. Notice it's sloping down a little bit. You know, officially, since this cave is kind of a maze, it's rated hard or difficult. But the funny part is, the entrance is at the upper end. So as long as you can tell which way is up, you can get out. So I'm really not worried about getting lost. Stuck maybe, but not lost. Now, that's a rarity. Now, a lot of caves, the entrance isn't either end. It's in the middle. If there's only one tube, that doesn't matter. But when it makes circles like this, oh boy. Especially, you know, if you can bypass the entrance, there's a tube that bypasses the entrance. That's when it can be really hard to find your way out. All right. So I'm just gonna sit down or kneel down. There's the way I just came down. Look how pretty it is. Ooh, ah. Oops, darn it. Why is my gimbal stupid? All right, hang on, let me... Hang on, my gimbal is stupid. Point the wrong direction, so the stupid thing wants to go into sleep mode. It takes an hour to wake. Well, not an hour, a while. Of course, see, the gimbal, it's got sensors, right? So if you overwhelm the sensors and the motors, it gets picky. It does work, usually. I looked at my first Catacombs video. It's 4K resolution, and I was just wearing the camera on my head. But since I like to look around, it was really shaky. Look left, look right, look up, look down. It was a lot of motion sickness and motion blur. So it wasn't that clear of a video. Plus, I usually had the flashlight pointing down at the ground, and a lot of times the camera was pointing too high. So sometimes the video was dark because it was pointing the wrong way. So the gimbal helps with that, because it's a lot easier to point in a certain direction. Usually I like to keep it level. Sometimes I point it down to look at the ground on purpose. Sometimes I point it up to look at the ceiling on purpose. But for the most part, just pointing straight ahead, I think, works out most natural. That's the way your eyes normally work. In their head, sticking straight forward. Notice to the right here, it gets wider, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's a dead end. The cave itself goes straight ahead here to the left. So I'm going to be heading that direction. The thing is, I don't have room to wear my backpack, and the floor is too rough to drag my backpack. So I'm basically rolling it along. So if you hear a nasty roll noise, don't worry. I'm not abusing the cave. Pretty sure rolling it's not going to cause any damage. The hard part is I need 3 hands. One for my camera, one for my flashlight, and one for my backpack. As you can see, the ceiling gets lower and lower ahead. I'm off my belly right now. I'm on my hands and knees, but pretty soon I will be belly crawling again. Oh. The other thing too, holding on to my gimbal flashlight all the time kind of wears out my hand a little bit. Takes a little bit of muscles to hold them both. It's not ergonomic. It's that simple. It's not ergonomic. I'm trying to work on a better idea. I don't really have what I want. What I want is something I can easily pick up and carry with one hand, but put down on the floor. So it has probably, it's either flat on the bottom or 3 or 4 little legs on the bottom. But it has to be a little bit durable. Can't be something that's gonna break off if I accidentally bump it. Kind of like a sawhorse. I need like a really small sawhorse that I can mount my camera and a flashlight on. That's what I really want to do. Shoot with 2 cameras at the same time to shoot in 3D. If I wasn't so lazy, I'd make my own little 3D rig. It's really sad there's a better selection of 3D cameras out there. I know there are people who like 3D, but not a lot. You know, probably a majority of people don't even like 3D. But briefly had that fad when Avatar came out. But the problem is there's so many fake 3D, you know, where they take a 2D movie and upconvert it, like they did with Titanic. I think they even did that with a Star Wars movie. It's like, it's not the same. We can tell the difference. But so all these fake 3D movies, giving 3D a bad name. Notice how wide it is here. The ceiling's 2 feet tall or less, but I'm gonna pan up a second. I want to show you this. The ceiling here, I swear, the points are in rows, nice neat rows. Kind of cool. All right. Looks like it gets a little bigger ahead. If I remember right, it gets bigger very temporarily, and then it gets small. I think that's where I gave up when I did the other video. I think I'm gonna be consistent, not necessarily feeling any more or less brave now than I was 2 hours ago.